Hello, welcome to West Ham Confidential. I wanted it to be an oi show. It could have been a grumble show, but this is where we're at. We've just lost the last two games. Crystal Palace away, Leicester at home. Two really poor performances. We won't go into that because we lost the games. That's it. Pellegrini got sacked. Backroom staff all went. Huzolas has gone as well. And now we've gone out with great ambition and we've gone back to David Moyes to save our bacon. What do we say? What do we say? Do we give him the chance? Do we get behind him, get behind the team? Well, we've got no choice. We have to. We have to get behind it. But it isn't actually forward thinking. It isn't the strategy that we all hoped that we would get from the board. I was out with a couple of friends last night and we were just telling them about the problems within West Ham. It's not a managerial issue. It's not an individual player issue. It's a complete structural issue from the board and the structure of the club and the way that we haven't built for the future. You talk about the training facilities. You can talk about the investment in the squad, the investment in the academy. You can talk about buying decent talent, young decent talent, and pushing those forward. Talk about having strength in depth and not paying 30, 40 million pounds for a player if that just isn't working, or buying a player that isn't going to work in a system under a particular type of manager. We can talk about tactics. We can talk about Pellegrini and his tactical decision making, his poor substitution choices, the inability to change his tactics in games or for each individual game. We can talk about the woeful performances from a lot of the players for a long time. But it's not just this current crop of players. It's been going on for a long, long time. People talk about the West Ham way. Many other fans from other clubs, mock us for this West Ham way. Many people in the media mock us from the West Ham way. Indeed, many fans of the newer generation talk about the West Ham way, but they've never actually seen it. It's a myth. It's like something that's in the ether. Something that we can cling on to, that we know it's there, but it's never going to happen. The West Ham way was really 60s, 70s football. But even in that era, the 70s football, a lot of that West Ham way, good football, was being played in Division 2. We've had occasional seasons where we've played really great football and we've had good performances and good results and we've got up the league. We've gone on some decent cup runs. But it hasn't been there for a long, long time. And it certainly hasn't been there for the last 10 years since our current board have been in place. Have they lied? Have they given false promises? Have they been inept? All of the above, possibly. But that doesn't change where we're at now. I would say to anybody, if you had a sit-down meeting with the board, with Gold, Sullivan, and even get Karen Brady in there, the three of them, the trinity there. If you got the evil trinity, if you like, if you got them in front of you, what would you say? Would you start having a slanging match? Would you start hurling abuse at them? Would you say, get out of our club? Or would you be like myself and say, right, let's find a solution. What is the solution here? Because we could all start flinging mud at each other. That's not going to solve anything. It needs a warts and all change. And perhaps David Moyes, now given this 18-month contract, is the start of that. Is he the right choice? I don't think so. I didn't think he was the right choice the first time around. I didn't think his brand of football was the right choice. I don't think the results really spoke for themselves. I think we were lucky that season that there were worse teams around us that were losing points as we were starting to gain a few points. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. He worked well with Arnautovic. The basic formation, the three at the back and five across the midfield, had its moments where it was working. It took a while for him to get in there, but it started to work. There was a bit more fighting spirit there. But now he's got better players, or he should have better players to work with. But we've got too many prima donnas. We've got too many people or players that just do not have the work ethic that we demand as fans. Maybe he will instill that a little bit. But are we really saying that David Moyes is going to be the long-term solution for us? Don't think so. Because it's not a David Moyes issue. This is a club issue. This is a structural issue. This is everything that goes on in the background. And one of the biggest things that we had when, we had problems with Pellegrini is that there wasn't anybody high profile in the background to step in just in case we need to get rid of Pellegrini. That's why there was a big delay. That's why they held on until he got fired. Because we needed somebody to come in. And there aren't many options. We missed so many opportunities to go out and get the big managers. People say, well, these managers are not going to come to us. That's right. They're not going to come to us. Unless we dangle a big carrot in front of them to say, right, we need you and we're going to pay you X, Y, Z million. And if you're going to come and sort out our woeful club, that's what it will take to get a world-class manager. But it's not going to happen mid-season. Which massive manager, big-name manager, is going to come to West Ham right now and try and save us? It's not going to happen. So David Moyes is our best option. Is it going to be great football? No, it'll probably be sturdier football, it'll probably be a bit more resilient. But we've got to do better now in all competitions, the Premier League and the FA Cup. You can't be playing this tactical nonsense about, we're saving the players for this game and that game. No, it's got to be 100%. And the players have got to knuckle down as well. And they've got to play for the manager. And we as fans, we've got to support the manager. We've got to support the players and urge them on to do better things. Because otherwise, it could be a disaster. This could be David Moyes taking us into the Championship. It's that serious now. I think they've made the wrong decision. But I'm not sure who else could have come in at this stage to save us. Kovac has been, mentioned. Pochettino has been mentioned as, big time managers. But, one, you'd have to pay a lot of money. Two, would they even come? Three, you're still going to deal with the same players. And four, do the board again? They're going to release millions and millions of pounds in the January transfer window to buy the players that we desperately need. I don't think it's going to happen. So it's up to Moyes now to deal with the players that he's got and maybe, go out into the transfer market, buy some players if he can get them. But they're not going to be top class because, you're going to be paying over the odds in the January transfer window for players that just possibly are mediocre. Got to do better. Let's see what happens at Bournemouth. He's only got a couple of days. You can't work miracles in a couple of days. But what he needs to do is instill a fighting spirit. Perhaps Nobes can come back and instill a little bit of that. Maybe Bonner can come back and instill a bit of that as well. But we need something. We need a change of formation. If he brings the three at the back and plays a five in the midfield and then two up front, that might work better for us. It might be better defensively. It might be better going forward as well. Pellegrini was just too stuck in his ways, and I think David Moyes at least will be a welcome change from that and will be able to adapt. And maybe he can get a tune out of some of our players that have been underperforming for far too long. Anyway, this has been the West Ham Confidential. At my heart, it's a grumble, but I'm hoping for an oi oi. Let us know what you think. Up the Hammers.